So back on the self-sufficiency theme, say that slowly, the hens, talking about the hens again. Over the years with hens, I've usually given them high protein corn, and that guarantees you eggs. But it's expensive, of course. Corn is bought in, I can't afford the organic corn, so it's just a standard hen layers pellet. But probably now from our two garden hens for the last at least a year, I've not bought in any corn for them at all. And some people might find that really surprising. But the house and the garden provide more than enough food to keep those two hens healthy. And already they're a good 3.5 years old. An average lifespan for a hen is about 7 years old, I'm told. So they're about halfway through the life. Yeah, they don't produce the same amount of eggs that hens would when they're younger. They certainly don't. And I know if I give them high protein feed in the spring and summer, they'll produce far more eggs. But it also, you've got to remember as well, that puts a lot of strain on the health of the hen. And potentially, you know, I'm not saying they're going to die earlier. I don't know enough about hens, but what I'm saying is you can feed them on scraps and garden waste, like your rabbits as well, and they'll turn that into fantastic fertiliser, if nothing else, and they'll turn your ground over. The reason I've got those hens on that piece of ground at the moment is to turn it over, is to save me time, gives them food, all those grass roots that they're going to be ripping out, and they can also use the soil to bathe in, to dust bath in, and yeah, it's you know, you hear me talk about them so often, hens and rabbits as well. They go hand in hand really with a small ecosystem. Now, if I had a bit of bigger land, I'd probably scale it up and have a small goat, a pygmy goat, to clear areas of rough land. I'd probably have a small pig if I got half an acre or more, but I haven't. So I'm using the animals that fit into the size of land that I have. Bees would fit into this system, garden system. Probably have to let my neighbours know. I don't think there's any restrictions from the local council on having bees. That would fit into a system, but it's the expense with bees. You know, you can be looking at £300 plus, probably $350 to get started with a bee system. The beehive, swarm of bees, a queen, and then as a minimum you'll need a hood and gloves and a smoker to keep your bees calm when you go into the hive, and that's a minimum to get you started. So it's quite an expensive hobby.